What is up? This is Politicking with Precious, your sister, your cousin, your neighbor, and your friend. Listen, today we are going to be talking about Taylor Casey. This is a 41-year-old missing Chicago woman. She is missing out of the Bahamas. Taylor Casey took a month long trip to the Bahamas to be a part of a yoga retreat, um, specifically the Sivananda retreat in the Bahamas, which is right next door to a very, very, very popular tourist attraction hotel that is located there in the Bahamas. Um, I just want to say that I have not take a liking because I don't like these things. I have took interest in the cults that are all around us because people do not realize the craziness that's going on around us, not just in the hood, but in good neighborhoods too. The craziness that's really taking place around us. It's important to guard your children. It's important to love your family. It's important to call things out when they are not sitting right with you. Um, I've been diving into the cult stuff because it's becoming more prevalent. It's becoming, I guess, because of social media, it's just definitely more out there in the open for people to realize that these things are truly taking place right in your back door. I had a friend that I was in the military with, a really good friend of mine. I will never say her name on here. I will never even hint so y'all can even figure out who she is. But that's my dog. Shout out H Town. And she knows who she is. Um, but that very same friend got caught up in a cult. We did several years in the military together. It was my friend. Still is my friend. Let me change that up. Still is my friend. But we did several years in the military. And after she got out the military, she ended up going down to Memphis and joining a cult. Um, it was a difficult time as a friend. So I can't even imagine how hard it was for her family to not know where she was, not know who she's with, the number of people that she's with, if she's able to get out, if she's able to listen. My friend wasn't even allowed to make phone calls, not allowed to make phone calls, and when she did, the guy wanted to talk to me too to see where my head was. But I played into his bullshit. I played into it just so I can be able to talk to my friend on the phone. I wanted him to realize that I'm not a threat and I'm not trying to take her away from the cult. Not the way you think, anyway. But she did end up getting away, and I played a part of that. Yay! But so now she is living a beautiful, vibrant life with her children in Texas. You go, girl. But not many people is as fortunate as my friend to get out physically unscathed, but there is things mentally, spiritually, and psychologically that she will probably forever deal with, and those kind of scars are deeper than anything physical. This I know. um for people to get wrapped up in this type of situation, um I just don't see how people can think um, that these cults have their best interests at hand, or even the best interest of what they actually believe in. It's always an alternative motive, ulterior motive, and most of the time it has to do with money. Most of these cults take the life savings of their members. They have them do things for money. They have them work as free labor to produce the cult more money. There's a number of things that goes on. And it can get quite graphic, quite horrible. But today I want to talk about Taylor Casey, who is missing out of the Bahamas. She is a native of Chicago. Disclaimer, something that they did not put out before: she was transgender, and that could play a part in her being missing. And she was clearly transgender. When you look at her just in the face, like, not so much. But when you see her whole figure, you can tell. And I'm sure the Bahamians, and I'm sure everyone at that yoga retreat knew as well. I'm just going to pull over my notes. So if you see me continually to look down, I'm looking at my notes, guys. Okay. Because I don't want to miss the important specifics. Taylor Casey was 41 years old, very, very, very much loved by her family and her friends. Her friend and her mother flew over to the Bahamas to try to look for her or to gather information, evidence, or anything that they could find for their loved one, Taylor Casey. But just looking at Taylor, you could just tell that she was a good person. She was a decent person. Now I got a whole nother segment about the gays that'll be coming soon. And it's not going to be contradictory, but there are certain gays that you got to get in place. Taylor Casey didn't seem like one of those gays or transgenders or whatever. She didn't seem problematic at all. She seemed like she wanted to be a good contribution to this world. That is what makes this disgusting. But this cult that she went to the Bahamas to be a part of, she was trying to learn to become a yoga teacher, yoga instructor, and she was going to get her certification from the Sivananda retreat. Retreat. If you look on TripAdvisors with the Sivananda retreat, there are so many warnings about what goes on at that cult. Many people on TripAdvisors has said that retreat is a cult. They were forced to do things. They were deprived of decent or adequate amounts of food. They were not exercising and doing yoga the way that they advertised on their website. And the yogis they have had several complaints of being overly sexual and aggressive towards the people there. That has paid thousands of dollars to be a part of this retreat and that training to move further in their yoga experience or lifestyle or what have you, their careers or what have you. Taylor Casey is not the only one who's went missing from this very, very particular retreat, the Sivananda retreat. Wesley Bell of Houston, Texas. Shout out to H-Town again of Houston, Texas. It doesn't give you the right to break the law. It doesn't give you the right to patronize other people. It doesn't give you the right to tear down other people, i.e. women, the very people you're trying to imitate. But that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about this subject because that has nothing to do with Taylor. That's my point that I'm making. She does not fall in that category. She does not. We are talking about a decent human being who meant a lot to her family, who meant a lot to her friends. That means that they meant a lot to her. This shouldn't happen to anybody. It shouldn't even happen to Taylor's. That's a grieving mother who deserves answers, no matter what her daughter was. That mother deserves answers. And the way the Bahamian police is handling it is horrible. It's horrible. They act like they do not care. And I just wanted to make this video to just put a spotlight on, in my own little small way, put a spotlight on Taylor Casey's on her story and what's going on in the Bahamas. What could happen in the Bahamas, and how we need to be pressing these other countries to do the right thing by Americans, even outside of their biases. They can take our money for vacations, but they can't help. It should be shut down. It should be shut down until they do deeper investigation, until they act like they are concerned about American lives. Period. Point blank. I also wanted to do this to just spotlight that there are so many cults right in our backyard, and we need to be more proactive in seeing what's going on. If people are weird to you, don't try to figure out why they weird. Don't try to do it. Don't try to do it. If something doesn't seem right with you, which in Taylor's case, something was amiss, and she let her mother know, I'm glad to be here, but this is pretty hard. And her mother said, Taylor had been doing yoga for years, so the yoga portion wasn't hard for her. So what exactly was hard about it? We really want to know. The people want to know. But anyway, yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all know what people say at the end of their videos. And hashtag Taylor Casey in the comments. Like, let's get this story moving. Somebody needs to find her or find out what happened to her. Anyway, it's your girl, Politica with Precious. Your sister, your cousin, your neighbor, and your friend. Talk to y'all later.